Yes, it's on. Here we go. How are you guys?
Yeah, fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. First of all, I wanted to start by saying congratulations on the birth of Charlie.
Thank you.
Oh, how old is he now?
So he's 17 weeks today.
Oh my goodness. And how are you finding it?
Yeah, all right. Getting there. He's slept through for the last 3 nights, so which is amazing.
That is amazing. That's a game changer.
Yeah, the world feels like a very different place. So yeah, he's doing great.
Oh, wonderful. So you guys have had a bit of a journey, haven't you? To put it lightly. So I wanted to start by talking about your journey to become finalists. So could you start by sharing how you felt when you first learned that you've been selected as finalists for the Fertility Journey project with Fertility Road? What was your emotions?
I mean, well, Dan took the call because they couldn't get hold of me because I was in work. So
yeah, it was a bit of a shock because it was sort of done as a bit of a whim, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like quite late at night, and Laura just sort of applied for competition, and I didn't know a great deal about it. And you sort of said, didn't you, that you don't enter the competition. I was like, okay. And then I was just at work one day and I just got a phone call, and it was I couldn't believe it, to be honest. They said you've been chosen to be a finalist. I was like, really? It was just it was mad. And you almost don't believe it as well because is this real?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So
did you have that thought that this might be a life-changing moment for your family?
Yeah, I think so. I think what I've said in sort of previous interviews, it came at a kind of a really key time for us. We'd been, as you said, we've been through so much treatment, and it'd been, obviously, like anyone who goes through it, really, really challenging. And we had just got to the stage where we had started to talk about whether we needed to just give up, really. The kind of like the finances, the emotional side of it. So we had those discussions, and so that's why we're sitting with kind of like, right, that's it. We need to kind of process that that's not going to be where our kind of family goes. And then I think it was like 1:30 at night, kind of scrolling through, obviously kind of not okay with that decision and trying to be okay with that decision, and then came across the competition and just entered it randomly when I couldn't sleep. Didn't really think much else of it, and then got the phone call that we'd won. So yeah, it was a real shock, and for us it kind of meant the difference between us carrying on and kind of having that hope and that input versus where we were, which was this probably isn't for us anymore. We were sort of 4 years into treatment at that point.
Oh, bless you.
So it came at an amazing point, really.
Yeah. Oh, incredible. And tell me about your first visit to IVF-Life. What were your initial impressions of the clinic?
Oh, we loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, we absolutely loved it. I think just from all of it, I mean, even just being able to go away, so obviously going to Spain, when we were involved in treatment, we weren't booking treatment like holidays away or weekends away, because it's always like, well, I might be pregnant, or we might be in the middle of treatment, or we might be having a transfer and we can't afford it because we need to pay these things. So even just the whole we get to go to Spain was a real sort of like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a nice side benefit, isn't it?
Yeah. It was. And our first trip, they were just amazing. So they were all really attentive, weren't they? And we walked away, they gave us flowers and treated us so nicely. And the doctor, our doctor, Dr. Herrera, was so thorough and just explained everything. It was just brilliant. Yeah, really.
I think I read that you guys had some bad experiences before, so this must have been like a breath of fresh air for you.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like it got me was the positivity as well, and it was like our doctor was just not having a baby wasn't an option in her head, or that how she came across. Everything was sort of worded like when you have your baby, and whereas the treatment we'd received previously, we were always given all the sort of like, I mean, it was very realistic, but there's a high chance this won't work and all that. I mean, you turned up with our doctor, and she was like, "Yeah, so when you have your baby," and we're like, "Right, okay." It's just a totally different experience, really.
Yeah, she was, but she was also really honest and transparent, wasn't she, about this
Yeah.
is what we need to do, these are the tests, this is why we're doing it, and this is, obviously for us it was donor conception, and this is why we would be looking at that rather than your own eggs and things like this. So they were also honest, transparent, and kind of, you know, open about why they were recommending what they were recommending for us.
Oh, they sound lovely. I guess just finding the right clinic and the right people is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, and kind of moving on to the embryo transfer, how did you feel on the day of the embryo transfer? Can you remember anything that was kind of going through your head? And did you try and keep yourself feeling calm with any specific, I don't know, like rituals or, you know, breathing techniques or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. For us, Charlie was actually our second transfer with the clinic. So our first transfer with IVF was unsuccessful. Well, we got pregnant and we lost that one. So we had.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. We got there in the end. So I think we found out about that loss in the September. And then again, this is where the clinic were fantastic with us. You know, we spoke to our doctor quite quickly, and I guess what kind of just made us feel really reassured is they sort of had a meeting to think about why it may not have worked for us, and then they changed the treatment and the medication for our second transfer.
Yeah.
For us, again, that was something that was really different, because in the UK, where we'd had treatment, they had kind of decided with us what the problem was, and we had just had repeated transfers and nothing ever changed, like nothing was ever.
Is that Charlie? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
So for us, I guess we went into that second transfer just feeling really reassured that the clinical team had looked at what might have gone wrong and what they could do differently to try and make the outcome different. So yeah, I think we went into it feeling quite reassured. It sounds really silly, but we probably learned to detach a little bit from the transfer. You kind of get into like your life. It sounds really dramatic, but your life is medical appointments and it's medication, and it was for us back-to-back treatment in the end for about 4.5, 5 years by the end of it. So it was just something we did, wasn't it? But I know that we went into this transfer feeling very different. I spoke to the doctor and was like, I just want to be pregnant for Christmas. I just don't want another Christmas. Just get me pregnant for Christmas.
Yeah.
And we did go there, and I remember her just kind of putting a hand on my shoulder going, I'll get you, baby. You'll be okay.
Oh, she sounds amazing.
Really lovely. So we kind of went into it just feeling as confident as we could be, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, and how was the 2-week wait, the dreaded 2-week wait?
Yeah. I mean, I was on a lot of medication, but they upped the meds quite a lot. But yeah, just as it always is, it kind of goes by in a bit of a blur. Yeah, he does.
Oh, he's absolutely gorgeous. Oh.
He's very smiley.
Oh, hello, Charlie. Hi. And what was your reaction when you found out that the pregnancy test was positive? Can you describe the emotions of that moment?
Yeah, I think we had blood tests. So the day that we got it, actually, it will be a year ago tomorrow that we found out.
Yeah.
So when we had the first transfer that hadn't been successful with IVF-Life, we'd had the blood test, and what is it? It's your HCG levels, isn't it?
Yeah.
And our HCG level had come back positive, but it was low. And with Charlie, when we had our first HCG, it was so high. It was kind of like well over sort of like 250.
Oh, amazing.
Which was much higher. So we kind of remember getting the results from the hospital to say that, you know, the blood test came back as that. So yeah, we were just really surprised and very happy.
It's also still you get excited, but then you bring yourself back down again.
Yeah.
And you spend the whole pregnancy. It's like going through the pregnancy still wasn't easy.
No.
Because of all the things we've been through. But until you actually arrived, it was
Yeah.
You stay quite nervous all the way through, but
We were in for quite a lot of emergency scans over last Christmas.
Okay.
You always had it in the back of your mind, or is this going to go the same way as other ones have?
Yeah. Oh, but here he is, little miracle.
We say all the time, we still look at him sometimes and just can't actually believe that he's here, and he is just so gorgeous.
Oh, you're making me emotional. I know you were talking there about your pregnancy journey, and it was obviously filled with a lot of apprehension and fear, but were there any joyful moments that you can remember on that journey?
It's really weird. I was really poorly through most of the pregnancy, which took me by surprise, because I think I was really naive a few times like that. I've been on medication for so many years that I kind of thought and I'd always been okay mostly on the IVF medication, even though I was on quite high doses at various points. So I've always thought I'd be okay with the pregnancy as well. So I was always quite shocked at how poorly I got. But I also thought I was going to be incredibly anxious through the pregnancy, and I wasn't. And overall, I just sort of, I did really enjoy being pregnant overall, even though there was points where I was.
Were you poorly? When you say you were poorly, was that with morning sickness and stuff?
Yeah.
So
I had morning sickness quite a way through, and iron deficiency.
Bless you.
And then for the first 3 months, I was still on the kind of IVF medication as well. That was quite high, and I had to take blood thinners throughout. Not that they make you poorly, but so I was on quite a lot of different medications at different point, anti-sickness tablets. But overall, I did enjoy being pregnant.
You smashed it.
Oh. Did you feel supported by the medical team at IVF-Life during your pregnancy as well?
Yeah, definitely. They were brilliant. Our patient coordinator is lovely. And
that's
so
good.
They would check in periodically, and I always knew that if you emailed them, they respond so fast.
So lovely.
It was all the like, you wouldn't hear from them for a few weeks, and when there'd be due to be like a change in dose of medication or something, the night before you'd just get an email from them. And it was like, you sort of think they'd forgotten about you. Like, remember to change your meds tomorrow, or
that's great.
And then you're in like a different country, and they're probably dealing with lots of people. It was a really nice, personalised message. They're brilliant. I thought they were absolutely amazing.
Oh. And in terms of the labour, can you share your experience of your labour and what that moment was like when you met Charlie for the first time?
Oh yeah, so we had a C-section, and it was planned C-section for us, for lots of different kind of risk factors. So I was really anxious about that, because I'd never had surgery before, but it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Oh, it was surreal.
So our surgeon and clinical team over here were absolutely amazing, and did. I mean, I must have looked absolutely terrified, because they did everything to sort of kind of put us at ease. And the surgeon came and gave me a hug before we went in, and was like, right, what can I do to make this less scary for you? So I must have no, it was frightening. Must have looked a bit rabbit in headlights, but they were just brilliant, and we had our own sort of playlist on. They chat to you the whole time, and then within sort of like half an hour, they're handing us in. And I think, where I was saying before, I wasn't anxious through the pregnancy at all until it got closer to the date that he was due. And I think it's because I couldn't imagine somebody actually handing me a baby. So that's kind of when all the kind of past stuff, I think, kicked in, really. I just couldn't imagine it was going to go okay. So that was more when some of the anxiety kicked in.
Charlie wants to get involved. He's got some anecdotes to share with us.
Lots to say all the time. So yeah, so when they had it was just all a bit of a blur. And it happens so fast, isn't it? Like C-section, planned C-section, it's just happened so quickly.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, right, come in at 8:30 and you'll have your baby at 9.
Yeah, it's
and that's what happened. Really odd, but
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
Was there a specific moment during labour or immediately afterwards that you'll kind of cherish that really stands out for you?
I mean, that bit when they handed you, put them on your chest.
Yeah.
And then we just sat and it was just us three for a bit.
Yeah.
That was
lovely.
That was.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just all. It's only like 17 weeks. It feels like quite a long time ago. Yeah, I don't know really. I think it just all happens in such a blur.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Oh.
She's like, what do you mean you don't cherish anything?
Oh, bless him.
Yeah,
and how has life changed since Charlie was born? What are some of the little things that bring you the most joy on a day-to-day basis?
He is the smiliest baby. That I think every kind of group we go to or people that meet him, he just doesn't stop smiling. He is just beautiful, and he can be sort of sobbing, and if you get his eye contact, he will just sort of grin at you through. He's just lovely. And he's got a proper chatty, and he's at that stage now. He just seems to be changing on a daily basis. So,
it's when you look at him, he's just grinning at you.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
Just smiles at you.
Oh, there he is. And is there anything that you can share with other couples who might be considering IVF or a project like Fertility Journey?
Oh gosh, I think it's just fill the form in, isn't it? It's like it's one of those things that, I mean, you never think it will be you that wins it. And we, like I said, we just entered it on a whim at 1:30 in the morning, in bed, couldn't sleep, didn't really think much of it. So yeah, I think it's just go for it. I think it's a really difficult. It's really difficult, I think, to give advice to other couples because I don't want to kind of put it down on, but not everyone gets a happy ending. So I think that IVF and fertility is just such a traumatic and complicated journey for people. And I think the one thing I wish we had done sooner was, if your clinic doesn't feel right, then change clinics.
Yeah.
And I think that for us, in hindsight, is the one thing I wish we'd done sooner. The UK clinic for us didn't feel right. And I didn't trust when they weren't changing the treatment to help us. And it was just this, if you repeat the same thing, you're probably going to get the same result. Yeah. And that's kind of what happened to us. And when we went to IVF-Life in Alicante, it was just a completely different experience. And even when, the first round was unsuccessful for us, we still completely trusted them to do the best they could by us. And we've always had that. And that's really important. So yeah, I think, if you come across the forms, then absolutely fill them in, but also, have consultations with other clinics until you find one that feels right, because that's something we didn't do early on.
And looking back, what does being part of the Fertility Journey project mean to you and your family?
I think that's really impossible to put into words. Like, it's completely given us everything we wanted.
Dream.
Yeah. I mean, it's like this was all we'd worked towards and all we'd wanted for sort of like.
Oh, bless you.
So we will be forever. Sorry. Yeah, it made all our dreams come true. And for us, the way our treatment always fell, we were pretty much having a pregnancy loss usually around November, December. So Christmases have always been lovely, but they were always quite challenging as well. And then this is the first Christmas we'll have with him.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
So yeah, it means everything. We will never be able to tell them how grateful we are for the opportunity, because we probably might have given up at that point if we hadn't have won.
And finally, is there a message that you would like to share with the team at IVF-Life or with others who have supported you along the way?
I think, you know, the message for IVF-Life is they're just fantastic. Like they are faultless to us. The clinic, the atmosphere, the setting, like the advice, the tests, how thorough they were. Because in between treatment as well, we were going over for different tests that we needed. So yeah, they were just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. In terms of how they were so inclusive of sort of Dan as well, in terms of explaining the treatment and what we were doing, and that hadn't always been the case with other clinics we'd been to. Yeah, they were brilliant, and just like a massive thank you to our doctor. She was
Dr. Herrera was amazing.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Ulia was insane.
Yeah, Ulia is gorgeous.
Ulia was amazing as well.
Yeah, so they're just lovely.
Oh, well, guys, your story has made me very emotional, and I am so thrilled for you.
Thank you.
I hope you have the most amazing first Christmas with Charlie, and congratulations again.
Thank you.